Elon Musk has officially set a launch date for when he plans on selling the Tesla humanoid robots. This is something that people have been really excited about for a long time, myself included. And I think what's exciting for me, because Tesla has been known to miss actual dates of product launches before. They've been known to go a little bit over when it comes to their timelines on self-driving or when the Model 3 came out. This is something they're a little bit notorious for. But regardless, what's exciting for me is the fact that they've actually set a date, meaning this is something they plan on putting into production. They're planning the production for it right now. It's something that the product is essentially ready for V1 to go out into the world. And they're kind of getting it there. So super, super excited about the prospect of this actual official date. Now, I'm going to be going into all of this on the podcast, but first I wanted to say a shout out to our sponsor, which is my very own AI Box. If you are not on the waitlist already for AI Box, I would love for you to join. AI Box is my own startup. It's a no-code AI app builder and marketplace that allows you to turn any idea you have into an app using AI tools. You can link together all the different AI models, and it also lets you access all the different AI tools without having to have tons of different accounts. They're all on one platform with one subscription. I would love for you to join the waitlist for AI Box. The website is aibox.ai. The link is in the description, or you can go find it online. And I'd love to see you as we launch shortly. So getting into what exactly Tesla is doing, I think the biggest thing that people are excited about is the sale date. So this was recently on, Tesla recently had their earnings call. A lot of announcements were made. And of course, Elon just announced that Tesla plans on beginning to sell its Optimus Humanoid robot by 2026. Not that far in the future, but some people are saying like, oh man, this is further than I would have liked. If you look at some of the comments on Twitter and stuff. Regardless, I think what's cool is this robot is currently already performing tasks autonomously in a bunch of different Tesla factories. So those are things already being used. Now, what is the current status? How does it currently sit? Is it ready for production and they're just testing it? Is it got a lot more to production to go, which means that potentially they can miss a deadline? Like, where's it actually at? So currently, the different Optimus robots are being tested in all the Tesla factories. They're doing a bunch of different tasks, handling batteries. There's definitely limited production right now, and even more limited production is expected to start by the end of this year. So they're actually going to start producing more of these by the end of the year. And they said that external sales are going to potentially start by the end of 2025, meaning right now they're just producing them and they're using them in their own factory. They're like, yeah, these things are great. We'll throw them around the factory. They'll go lift and move batteries or other dangerous chemicals or objects. But selling them to people outside of their own company isn't going to start till probably the end of 2025. And that's not even when people are going to get them. That's when we're going to start collecting money, which means that's probably when they expect for the technology to really be dialed in and nailed down. So what is the market potential? Like, how big can this actually get? How much money can this actually make? Elon Musk says that, and a lot of people are like, oh, he's talking up his own book. And like, maybe that's true. But if you really think about it, Elon is saying that he envisions a huge market for humanoid robots. He estimates that a demand will be about 1 billion units per year, with Tesla aiming to capture at least 10% of this market. This is insane. This is astronomical. This could be one of the biggest companies in the world just solely from the robots alone, right? He's saying that, they're essentially trying to sell 100 million Tesla robots a year. Now, is this realistic? Could they really sell 1 billion? Let's say 7 billion people on Earth. 1 in 7 people owns one of these things. Yeah, I think it's definitely possible. The reason for that is I don't think it's going to be 1 in 7 people owns a Tesla robot. I think there's going to be a company that owns 20,000 Tesla robots and they're going to automate everything. I've talked a lot about this on the podcast before, but I think blue-collar jobs, you could literally, if you had a self-driving Tesla Cybertruck and an Optimus robot, you give him a lawnmower, he could go and run an entire landscaping company on autopilot for you. I think there is going to be some insane sync-ups between these, the kind of the Tesla ecosystem and all these products coming out of it. And I think it's going to be huge for businesses in the same way that ChatGPT and all these other AI tools have been huge for blue-collar or for white-collar work so far. I think that the robotics is going to be huge for blue-collar work, huge for factory labor, and it's going to be insane. So yeah, I think that there's definitely the potential for this. Because it's not just like, oh, but could everyone afford a robot? If you think about it from a business perspective, every business owner could afford one and possibly 10 or 100 or 1,000, depending on where their business is at, how they scale it. So yeah, I think it will very quickly get there. And, some people are saying people are going to keep these things like a nanny at their house to help with stuff. And others are like, I never trust a robot to help with my baby. And there's a lot of ethical questions and interesting things that are going to have to be addressed there, going straight to iRobot. But regardless, I think the market potential is huge. Whether it materializes or not is left to be said. So how much does it actually cost to produce these? Tesla said that they are trying to produce Optimus robots at a volume cost of about $10,000 a unit, and they're going to sell them for $20,000. This could lead to about $1 trillion in profit if they hit their benchmarks. Now, $20,000 for a humanoid robot that could do everything. Let's say it could run a landscaping company. Yeah, obviously that's worth it. A person's salary is $60,000 a year in many jobs in many places in the United States. Super skilled labor, different things. You move up to 120,000. So if something like this could replace a $40, $50, $60, $120,000 worker, this is a no-brainer. $20,000, you essentially are getting for 120 grand, you're getting like 6 new employees. I think this is amazing. This is insane. And so the profit would be great on it if they're able to produce these for 10,000. That I also am a little bit dubious on, but it'll have to be said. So who are the actual competitors in this space? Is Tesla going to, they said they're going to take 10% of the market. Who's the other 90%? Who's going to crush it here? I think there's a bunch of interesting companies right now. Of course, Boston Robotics is one. Dynamics, is one that everyone has been seeing for a long time because they have their like little walking dog thing that I've seen these things in person. They're kind of crazy. People show videos of them trying to kick them over, or they do backflips, and they've progressed a lot. They've gone viral on YouTube a lot over the last, I want to say like 6, 7, 8 years. The Boston Dynamics has been building these. Definitely a big competitor. So there's a couple other projects and a couple other companies. I don't know if any of them quite have the backing or resources that Boston Dynamics or Tesla have. So I would say those are probably the 2 biggest for the moment. So what are some of the challenges that they face or they will face? Like what are the developmental challenges in this, right? If it really is something that can make $1 trillion a year, why is Tesla the first one that says they're going to mass produce this and roll it out? Why isn't Boston Dynamics already done this? They've been working on it for a long time. Why aren't there other companies that are, kind of doing this and marketing towards people? What are the difficulties? So despite, I think, a lot of the really optimistic projections out of Tesla, there's a ton of technical market challenges in actually developing and commercializing these humanoid robots. And this is evident by all of the delays, but I think a lot of it is like the ethics of it all, the technology. These things are not just like an AI, because they have to develop AI for these things to function, but it's like the hardware that is paired with the AI. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges, actually making a device that can walk and talk. Like you're training it to do basic motor functions of a human while at the same time needing to train it to do the thinking. So it's like, it's the body of the human and the AI is the brain, which predictions I made in the past is that they'll use Grok, which is Elon Musk's Twitter AI, kind of as the brain, and they have kind of another AI running the actual body of the robot. Very interesting. So what is this going to look like in the future? Elon Musk believes that Optimus is going to be Tesla's most important product, and he expects it to add tens of trillions of dollars to Tesla's valuation, right? Because the valuation doesn't just go up by the supposed $1 trillion in profit they're going to make. It goes up, 10x that, because it's looking at kind of the future of the company. So $10 trillion in valuation is potentially what it's looking at adding, maybe more, right? And he thinks that it's going to surpass the value of all other Tesla products combined, which is insane. This is a very successful car company, technology company. They've been doing a lot of interesting things. And he thinks that Optimus Robot is going to be the most profitable and the biggest and most popular product they've ever made. That is absolutely fascinating. So this is a direct quote from Elon on this in an article I saw over on Bazinga. It says, "We do think we will have Optimus in limited production in the natural factory itself, doing useful tasks before the end of this year. And then I think we may be able to sell it externally by the end of next year." He also mentioned, "I think Optimus will be more valuable than everything else combined, because if you've got a sentient humanoid robot that is able to navigate reality and do tasks at request, there's no meaningful limit to the size of the economy." That is insane. Of course, he says this is going to be a sentient humanoid robot. So that is very interesting. That got a lot of people, talking about it for sure. But I think overall, a robot that you can talk to, you can give it tasks and instruct it, and it goes and does things. Like, what's the value of that for $20,000 a year? That's insane. Absolutely insane. So Will people trust this to watch their kids or to run their daycare? I would hope not. I don't know. But there's definitely a lot of things that I think this is going to be phenomenal at, being a lineman, being an electrician, being a plumber. I know this is controversial, but I think that these humanoid robots mixed with AI is essentially where big disruption and automation comes into the blue-collar space. It's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. If you enjoyed the episode today, please make sure to leave me a review. I'm in the process of talking to some incredible guests I want to get on the podcast, and every review that you you leave on the podcast helps me to find them. So if you haven't done it yet, if you appreciate the podcast, it would mean the world to me if you could leave me a review, and I hope that you all have an amazing rest of your day.